Dissension in the Tejada organization might end Kane's reign before it really gets started. Tariq thinks that he's building a family when it comes to Effie and Brayden. And Diana so desperately wants to stop being lied to. What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV2 with my initial thoughts for season 3, episode number 3, Power Book 2 Ghosts. And this episode took a little bit of change of pace. It was still a very good episode, y'all. So don't sleep, don't trip. But I feel like episodes 1 and 2 were a little bit more higher energy and a lot more going on. And I feel like this episode was a lot more set up. We got a ton of conversations. We got nuanced dives into like, well, what does this really mean? We started to wrap up other little loose ends. Like, for example, Whitman bringing up the contractor when he pays Monet a visit at the bar. And he's like, oh, your bar don't even look like it was a crime scene. Let me look up your contractor because they did a really great job. Then when she comes in to actually, or when they come in to speak at Davis's office, he did look up the contractor, and that led to, oh, people seem to disappear whenever they come to your bar. So it was a lot of little wrapping up of loose ends, but then also laying the groundwork for additional things. I feel like it was just further set up for all of the things that's going to happen. So most of this video, that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to do a deep dive, in-depth breakdown on my main channel, Erica Vane TV. So after you check this out, click a link in the description box down below and head over there for my more in-depth thoughts on everything that happened in the actual episode. So it's interesting to me, and understanding the setup for everything that's going on. We know that Kane is in charge now. Kane knows that Lorenzo killed Zeke, and he's the only one who knows, and he's holding it over his head. He actually gets Lorenzo beat up at the top of the episode, and he says, this is you getting off easy for both Zeke and for having his brother beat up. And I'm like, okay, cool. I ain't even mad at it. At first when I saw it, I was like, damn, Kane, like, chill. But like, no, he actually killed Zeke, and he got Drew beat up to try to cover it up. So no, he need to feel something. And I personally don't feel like Kane is doing a bad job, right? Like, I feel like he's doing a good job actually leading. I don't feel like he's power tripping too much. However, I do understand the resentment of like, yo, you actually killed my cousin and you got my brother beat up and you've been lying this entire time. And not only that, you have also put me through hell and you got me beat up when I came to visit you in jail. So there's plenty of things that, you know, make certain choices that Kane make sense and make it seem like to me that it's not him power tripping, it's actually him just holding Lorenzo accountable. But when I said like the setup, it's interesting to me how Diana immediately rejects Kane's leadership. It's interesting to me how Drew immediately rejects Kane's leadership. Meanwhile, Drew, you don't even want this. You don't want the position that Kane is in. They tried to give it to you. Your ass is too busy chasing after Everett. And now that you can't have Everett, you running through anything that will go ahead and swipe right on your ass on Grindr. You're completely distracted, but you're only paying attention enough to make sure that you let them know that it's some bullshit that Kane is leading. Meanwhile, you don't want to do the job. Diana, you can't be trusted. People give you information. You have no idea what to do with it. Like, you have a gist of what is going on in the business. You have a gist of who your family is, but you ain't out on the block selling nothing. You have yet to get your hands really, really dirty. You have this very naive view on life, which to me was, we were reminded of it when she confronted Effie the way that she did. But I'm going to talk about that in a second. Like, you don't know what you think you know, and you're not as much of an asset as you really want to be, and you still so butthurt because your family discarded you and da because they couldn't use you anymore. Girl, cry me a damn river and go to hell. Like, and then you can't get behind Kane trying to give you a gun because you're going to be the first one to fall if they mess up, and he's trying to make sure that you're protected. He show up at your school and you got nothing but funk and bullshit flavor to kick in his ear because you don't respect the fact that he's the one actually calling the shot. She's sitting at the table talking about, I think Poppy should make the call. Well, Kane is the one who's damn speaking. Kane is the one who was met with Noma. He also debriefed all of y'all on what was at stake, and you think that he's playing? You think that he's joking? Like, it was just wild to me that you just really could not get on board simply because of who Kane is. Meanwhile, he has been y'all biggest protector and the number one person keeping y'all damn business afloat. So y'all wouldn't have the lifestyle that y'all have. You wouldn't have the Balenciaga book bag or be able to go to Stansfield if it wasn't for a dude like Kane. So the least you could do is give him some damn respect. I didn't know I was going to go that hard for Kane, but like, that's just really how I feel. I was watching both Drew and Diana like, y'all get on somebody's damn nerves, and I want somebody to punch y'all in the face. But you know what, Drew, you already had yourself been punched in the face, so maybe just Diana, because I can't. And for Diana to want Monet's validation so bad and want her family to value her so bad, she don't make herself valuable. She just sits around and damn whines and be cute. And I'm like, girl, I can't. You literally got all this smoke for Kane. And he was very subdued. When he showed up at her school, while he called that boy the Holy Hotep, Kane is freaking hilarious. His one-liners are completely undefeated, y'all. It makes no damn sense how funny this character is. But for the most part, I feel like Kane was very subdued. He was not overly disrespectful aside from the Holy Hotep thing. He wanted to make sure that you were okay. He gave you money because he don't want you to have a job and be out here trying to work for $7 an hour. And he gonna have you out here like this. And he wants you to have protection because he knows that they gunning for you. Meanwhile, you don't know any of this, and then once you get down to the table to sit and talk with your family, you got nothing but bullshit to kick back at him as if he's wrong. Make it make sense. Because messing around with your father, Lorenzo, you gonna be in a body bag next. He ain't been able to protect nobody. All it seems like he's been able to do is get his sons beat up. Now, while all this is going on in the episode, Monet is also going back and forth with Davis, and then they wind up having to loop Tariq in because Whitman is still on her ass, as I mentioned. He shows up at the bar, talking all that noise, and it's so funny because Davis literally says, no, you're not going to go meet with him, but she's like, I'm not asking, so he, of course, has to coordinate it. And before Whitman gets out of there, she makes a point of like, go find the guaps that killed Zeke. Girl, this is exactly what Davis was talking about in reference to you running your damn mouth too much, because who said it was a guap? How would you know that? Are you have more information that you're not telling anybody? Yeah, exactly. Congratulations, you just played yourself. And now y'all done play all yourself because y'all should went to a coffee shop or something. Why in the hell would y'all meet with Tariq at Davis's office? Even though I get it, like Davis is not clued into the fact that Saxe is actually dirty and playing both sides or whatever. So Saxe actually peeps this, and this is going to go a mile for this Rico case and tying everybody together. This is exactly what they damn needed, because I was literally looking like when Whitman walked out on them girls because they got mad because he rode up on Monet yet again. I was like, oh, any hope of them actually bringing this Rico in and getting this case off the ground and actually doing something with it is walking out the door with Whitman's ass. But good old Saxe is getting this photo, and that's going to be the thing that helps tie all the connective tissue back together. And I'm like, damn it, they actually going to be able to do something. I am also, y'all, feeling very, 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 very nervous for Tariq. Between Brayden manipulating him and not being able to actually kill anybody, and Effie lying and low-key manipulating him, but then still, I do feel like she's actually in it with him. However, her true nature feels like it's going to be disloyal. Her true nature feels like at all costs, she's going to only look out for herself. And it's Obi at the top of the episode talking about some little orphan Annie, I ain't leaving you out because I'm going to kill all of them just because we don't have nobody to kill from your background. It's like that to me stood out by the end of the episode, because at the end of the day, she has been on her own this whole time. So while it's cool Tariq's talking about them being, you know, a unit and a family and this and that, when you don't actually know how to operate within a family, when you actually don't know how to fully give into that, you're going to pretty much for the most part always go back to your first nature. And I think Effie's is always going to be to look out for herself. She did come clean about wanting to, you know, sell at Stansfield, and Tariq okayed it, and that's fine. It's seemingly okay. However, I do feel like there's still yet another double cross in Effie's future when it comes to Tariq, and he is not going to be safe with either of them. Brayden, I do believe, has the best intentions for Tariq. He just is incapable of being the man that he would need to be to actually have Tariq's back. Him not being able to drop somebody is going to be a huge liability for everybody that is near him and working with him. But Effie is just going to, I think, completely disappoint him and break his heart. From her talking about she ain't gonna argue over no nigga with Diana, it's like, yes, it's also Tariq, it's not just anybody, but I also understand not fighting over a guy. But like the way she said it, also I'm like, damn, how dispensable is Tariq for Effie, because his ass is getting all in when it comes to her. So yeah, those are my initial thoughts, y'all. That's what I got. And again, I'm going to go into depth about specific major scenes in the episode in my episode breakdown. Check it out on Erica Vane TV 2. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my Power Book 2 Ghost Conversations. I'm also doing a preview for episode 4 over on Erica Vane TV. So check that out, and I'll see you in the next one.